Yes. It has happened. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hello. Welcome to the football trio. We're starting off. We told you guys we're starting at 1:30. I didn't want to keep you guys waiting too much longer. A lot of emotions, a lot of unexpected results today, a lot going on. So we'll wait on the football encyclopedia in person, Ajab, to join us. True Lion is unavoidably absent for now. I think he's going to be joining us in a few. Once Ajab is ready, I will bring him on the live stream. Um, but yeah, I mean, Arsenal's lost the game. The chance was there for them to take, and it's what it is. It is what it is. So for now, let me maybe just give you guys a few minutes. Go ahead. Let's, as others taking the results of the game, let's go ahead and share the live stream link so some folks can join us. We're on Facebook, on X, and also on YouTube. All those links are available. Football Trio, just look for it and you should be able to join us on any of those platforms to follow live as we talk about the weekend's action in the Premier League as well as other leagues across Europe and even back in Cameroon because we do know the playoffs are ongoing in Cameroon and amongst other things. So yeah. Take it in, guys. I see we have quite a few folks on the stream. Just want to give you guys a few minutes, share, bring in your friends. And let's see how this goes. Ajab, I think you're there. I can't pick you up on the sound, but looks like you're good to go. I'm not too sure. Are you there? Hey, Ajab, can you hear me? Okay, well, I can't hear you though. So maybe I'll adjust some audio settings and then we can go. All right. All right. Let's see. Where do we start? Where do we start? Should we start with Liverpool or should we start with Arsenal? I don't know. Okay. All right, Ajab. I see you are here now. I'm going to bring you in. I still can't hear you though. I still can't hear you. Still can't hear you. Maybe adjust audio output. Okay, thank you. Um, yeah, where do we start, guys? Where do we start? Arsenal had one job to do. Let me start with my beloved Arsenal. Arsenal had one job to do. One job to do. Just win. And if you cannot win, don't lose. Guess what they did? Butlers in chief, I guess. No one expected this. Let's be honest. No one expected this. And I'm open to hearing your comments. Okay, there you are, Ajab. I can hear you. All right. Let me bring you in. How are you doing? Good
Yep.
afternoon. Say hi to
Good
the
afternoon.
audience.
Hi. Sorry for putting on the Nigerian jersey, but it was a gift from someone, and yeah.
It's
So
all good. Happy to have you on. Happy to have you on. Yeah, I don't know where we start, man. The weekend was quite eventful. We watched some
Leverkusen,
of the best games this Sunday. What are your
Leverkusen, Leverkusen winning the Bundesliga.
the Bundesliga? Yeah,
Yeah. Arsenal and Liverpool dropping points. Man City going back to the top of the league for the first time since November.
yeah, scary, right?
Yeah.
Let's start with Leverkusen because I think they deserve props for what they've done. I mean, they've
Yeah.
gone unbeaten
It's for the
throughout this
yeah
title,
for the three games. So
and
for the 3 games so far, the entire season, League, Cup, European League, they haven't lost a game yet. For the 3 games, they've tied five. They've won the rest. So
the rest
it's
of the
really,
game.
really interesting for them right now.
It's unbelievable stuff, man, and
Yeah, it is. It
and it's a
is.
good thing that Xavi Alonso decided to stay one more season with them. He refused to take the bait to move to Liverpool to replace Klopp, which is really good.
He
Um,
he also turned down the chance to take over at Bayern. You know,
that's
he's a former
Bayern.
he's a
That's
former
right.
Bayern Munich player. He also turned down the
Yep,
chance to take over at Bayern. So it was a very good decision from him.
that's right. So question for you, Ajab. Question for you. No one saw this coming. What do you think we attribute Leverkusen's success to?
Xabi Alonso. Those are the three people I can attribute the success to: Xabi Alonso, and Xabi Alonso.
All right.
Yes,
Yeah, I mean, they've had an unbelievable run, and if you look at the table, like I mean, win after win after win after win. It's just unbelievable. And they also have an amazing run in the Europa League, right?
Hmm.
They beat
West Ham 2-0, and
a few days
yeah,
ago, and you would have thought they would have tired legs today, but somehow
yeah,
they came in and took care of Werder Bremen
and
5-0
five
to
zero,
win it.
and
Yeah,
yeah,
5-0
and
to win in style.
yeah, and the good thing about it is they've been consistent. They
Yes,
lost their key player, one of the key striker in Boniface. Everyone thought it was going to go sour for them, but it didn't. Even though they started winning like 1-0, 3-2, 2-1, but they were still consistent. And they've scored about 60% of their goals, of their victories. They've recorded about 60% of their victories from the 80th minute. They normally play it like the 80th minute, they either 0-0 or they're trailing 1-0. And then they come back after the 80th minute. So there's something. And if you notice against West Ham, they dominated the entire possession, had shots on goal, had created chances, and they only scored the first goal at the 81st or the second minute.
in it. Yeah,
So it's been normal. Like it's not the kind of team where at the 80th minute you see fans leaving the stadium saying it's done for us. You know,
it's
it's
been
different.
amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Boniface, 11 goals, 8 assists.
Yeah.
It,
And he
it,
just came back. Today was his first start ever since he came back from injury. He had an injury in December during
yeah,
the preparations for the
which stopped him
AFCON.
going to the AFCON, right?
Yeah, friendly game against Guinea, he injured himself in December, and he never. Yeah, only came back about 2 weeks ago, and he's been making substitute appearances until today when he had the start, and then he scored his first. He scored a goal
This is huge. This is
from a
huge.
penalty kick. Yeah,
Are
and
we seeing an ascendance of other teams in the league now in the
Bundes.
league? Yeah,
Let's see what happens next season because it could. I don't. It could be a one season wonder. It couldn't be bad. Even if it's what I'm looking. What the way I see Xabi Alonso, if he stays at Leverkusen, even if they don't win next season, he's going to make Leverkusen be a consistent Champions League participant.
player.
You
Okay,
know, even if they don't win the league. That's how I look at it. And the good thing about it, the reason I'm giving all the props to Xabi Alonso is not just because he won the league. He joined Leverkusen in January or December of the previous season when they were in the relegation zone, and then he took them to sixth place, and then now he's taking them to first place. So that's the beginning of some consistency. So even if he doesn't win the league next season, I'm not going to say he's a one season wonder because he won the league and then he's going to keep them at from the way I see he's going to keep them top three spots for at least the next 2 or 3 seasons before he leaves.
great, 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 great. All right. While you were talking there, we got True
Yeah,
Lion finally joined us. Hey, True Lion. I'm
the
sure you were
analyst.
trying to wipe off your tears from that Arsenal loss. I don't know. I don't know that you're an Arsenal supporter. I'm just speaking. I'm just talking.
Well, I told you yesterday you guys gonna pick a shot.
I know, I know. Welcome to the stream, brother. Welcome to the stream.
Thank
Glad
you.
to have you on. Glad to have you on. Quick thoughts. We're talking about Leverkusen's run and eventually tying up the title, right? Closing out the title race in Germany. We now have a winner in Germany for the Bundesliga this season, and that's going to be Bayer Leverkusen with their 5-0 win, or should I say thumping of Wolfsburg. Or Werder Bremen, sorry. They
Whether
did
Bremen-
that W always makes me think Wolfsburg, but
Yeah.
they did a very good job today. Played the game and came out swinging and they won 5-0 to ensure that they are Bundesliga title winners this season. Any quick thoughts on that?
Well, that's a great achievement. Bayer Leverkusen has always been known as Bayern Neverkusen because
Yeah.
5 times they have been runners up, and they actually today are eventual winners of the Bundesliga, and that's a great achievement. I'll say this. Some people do not agree with me, but I think Xabi Alonso is a genius. He's a tactical genius. We can just take it like that. Although people will say that, oh yes, you need so many games to become better.
Yeah.
He is not only winning. Some people try to compare it to Leicester. No,
Hmm.
Leicester was competing only on one front and was the EPL. Well, Leicester did not seal the EPL 5 games, 6 games to the end of the season. They did not do it like that. The way Xabi Alonso is doing it in style, and his style is basically, as he said in an interview that he gave some time ago. That was last season. Was that last season or this season? I cannot remember. But he talked about the influence Pep Guardiola and a certain Jose Mourinho had on him as a player because he actually played for both managers. So I mean, it's a great achievement. Bayer Leverkusen will forever honor him, and I'm happy he's staying at Bayer Leverkusen
Yeah, that was
because
the best decision.
yeah, because he needs some time to go. You don't need to chase. One thing about success is that making the right decisions where you go as a coach or where you go as a player is
We talked
also
about that. Yeah.
yeah, it's also important.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
that's what I have to say.
Sorry. Just before we dive into the EPL fever, um, Tula mentioned something about Alonso's inspiration. I also listened to Mourinho saying that Alonso was a coach. Alonso's dad was a coach. Alonso was an excellent midfielder, good at reading the ball, good at dictating play. He was coached by Mourinho, coached by Ancelotti, coached by Guardiola, coached by Rafa Benitez.
Mhm.
So yeah, coached by some of the top coaches. So I think, and if you notice in football, most of those midfielders are becoming good coaches. If you look around, so it's
Yeah,
good.
there's much to say about these midfielders who are becoming great coaches. You look at especially the Spanish midfielders, right? Xabi Alonso, Xavi Hernandez. You have Mikel Arteta, Pep Guardiola. I mean, these are amazing coaches, and they all played in the midfield. Well, Pep Guardiola was a defender, no?
No, midfield.
Midfielder,
Midfield,
yeah.
yeah, midfield, yeah.
So I mean, it speaks volumes, and somehow the English ones haven't done much. Steven Gerrard, Lampard.
They're pundits. They're pundits.
They're more like pundits these days, right? So whatever the case, guys, it's definitely something to write home about. When you think of the fact that these guys had illustrious careers, amazing careers, and then now you can see them doing it as coaches, right? It's really really good thing to see. I like. So outside of the Bundesliga, this where does that keep Bayern though? That means Bayern just has they are second, I think it's with 63 points, 15 points, or 25 points behind the leaders.
No, 15, 15.
15? Yeah, 15 points behind the leaders. Jeez, that's 25. So the goal difference is like 11. Okay. Yeah, 15 points behind the leaders. And where does that leave them? Does that mean they all have to go all in into the Champions League, knowing that they have to put all their best foot everything they have literally to go to the Champions League and see if they can get something out of that to save the season.
Yeah, sure. That's what's gonna happen. No, they have no choice. That's the only thing they're fighting for,
All right.
Champions League, because they're guaranteed the spot in the. Not really guaranteed, but I think the third place is Stuttgart, who is the same points with them, but they have a goal different. I think 13-point goal different, and then they're like 7 or 8 points
Oh,
above the fourth place, which is Leipzig. So I think they will just go to fight for the Champions League.
all right. Cool beans, cool beans. All right. Well, that's it for the Bundesliga, ladies and gentlemen. Let's pivot and go to the Premier League. I know some of the comments had already started. I can tell you as a Arsenal fan. Wait, well, there's a comment there about Klaus Slotton.
No, he's reminding, and I know it's Zago is talking about Kaiserslaughter's magnificent season too. When the
Yes,
last time they won with Ulf Kirsten and Marshall and Mikael and Make Balak, I think that was 2000 or 99. I think
99.
that's what he's trying to talk about. Something, yeah. Mhm.
Nice. And I see a comment here about Bayern. Let me just pull it up. Bayern would just try to qualify for Champions League, get Tuchel sacked, and sort out a few players. They will be back next season. I don't know. Xabi Alonso is literally getting to a point where I'm going to start believing in him more than I believe in Ateta. Anyways, let's go for the Premier League, guys. The title race is going to be on a lot of headlines today and tomorrow. We just witnessed two games today that no with results that very few people expected. I'm not going to say nobody expected that, but I'm going to say very few people expected these results today. And the way we'll start off with Liverpool and Crystal Palace. The way Liverpool lost today to Crystal Palace, not too sure anybody saw that coming, especially at Anfield, especially given the fact that Liverpool had lost in the Europa League game against Atlanta at home. Atalanta at home,
Mhm, mhm.
3 goals to 0, and it was looking like they were going to literally just take apart Crystal City. Unfortunately for them, Crystal Palace came back and literally just switched things up, got their goal, and then defended like a masterclass. Gave everybody, I mean, the neutrals, the viewers, anybody who was hoping for anything in this title race. I mean, unbelievable stuff. I want to give it to you, True Lion. What are your quick thoughts on that? And what did you see the score coming? Did you what do you attribute Liverpool's loss to, or what's happening here? Because that's two losses in a row for Liverpool.
Well, one loss in the EPL, but it was
Yeah,
actually I wasn't surprised. I mean, the goals that he missed, that was more surprising. I know Liverpool has not been I wouldn't even say clinical, because some of those goals or some of those chances, they did not need to be clinical. However, we've seen that consistency in the way Liverpool actually defends. For me, Liverpool has been lucky to actually be in the title race. When I look at them last season, they finished seventh, if I'm
Seventh,
not
yeah.
mistaken. Yeah, seventh, if I'm not mistaken. And this season they are actually fighting for the league. So that's a great improvement. But for me, it's not actually a total surprise, because I just know that when I look at that team and the progress they have made, it's not it's not good enough to actually be eventual title winners. That's the way I look at it. And for me, it's not actually surprising. But what if most surprising for me is the chances that they actually missed.
okay, okay. So, Ajab, I want you to come in on this, chime in on this here.
Yeah.
What do you
Um,
attribute this to? And
I wasn't expecting this, but I want to give credit to three players. Um, Jefferson Lema, Joachim Anderson, Nathaniel Klein. Those guys defended like Mourinho's 2010 in Milan. Yeah, even though Liverpool missed a lot of chances, but Crystal Palace, those guys, especially Anderson, those guys had an exceptional game defensively today. Exceptional. I've never seen a mid-table team defend this good. Not just defending by clearing the ball, so preventing Liverpool from scoring, but they had some calmness and they fought like they wanted to win the league. They played like it was a title-winning game. But Liverpool too, like True Lion said, yeah, the Liverpool have been they've at some point I was thinking now this is their season. They keep on winning, coming from behind to win 2-1 or 3-2. This is the season. But at some point you're like, this thing it can't keep happening. Something is gonna happen at some point where they're gonna lose that calm. And two things, ever since Mohamed Salah returned from injury, he's not been the same. That's affected Liverpool's game. That it's affected
okay,
Liverpool's game. That has affected it. And then Liverpool started to concede goals that the title winning team should not concede against some kind of teams. So that's where it is. I don't really have much to talk about the Liverpool game. I was thinking that Liverpool will use this as use this league to give a bit a perfect farewell to uh to Jurgen Klopp.
you're
And then one person I also forgot, the guy who played left back, the small dark guy who plays left back for Crystal Palace, Tyron Mitchell. He also had a good game.
Mitchell.
Yeah, Tyron Mitchell. He
Yes.
also had a good game. So let's say the back line. Yeah, the back line had a good game, and then Jefferson Lima. So I will not talk much about the Liverpool game because it wasn't. There was not much to analyze from the game besides the fact that Nunes is not a title-winning striker. I'm one of those people who say and striker is not all about scoring. You can also be a good on a day where you don't score. But when you miss 75% of your chances, then it starts to impact your game. And that's what has happened to Nunes. And that's all I'll say about the Liverpool game.
Okay. Well, we know fair enough. We know that Jurgen Klopp was very expressive. Let me use, for lack of a better word, when he talked about in the pregame conference today, yesterday, when he talked about this game and talked about the fact that they were going to be angry because they lost to Atalanta the way they did in the middle on Thursday, and that
Mm.
Crystal Palace should come ready for for a surprise. But unfortunately, it didn't happen. We do rule the chances missed, but even Salah had chances missed. Do you really want to? Do we want to keep the script only on the fact that Liverpool missed chances, or do we also applaud the fact that Crystal Palace actually put on a masterclass in defending? They
Like I
did an
mentioned, yeah,
Yeah,
like I
let
yes.
me
mentioned, yeah, I said those three guys or the four guys, they were exceptional. But
Mhm.
Trolan, go ahead.
Yeah, let me actually say this, right. It was a game of many missed chances, because Crystal Palace also had some missed chances.
Amazing.
Yeah. However, I cannot only give credit. Yeah, in my opinion, I cannot only give credit, let's say, to the defensive side of what Crystal Palace did, because their goalkeeper for me was a man of the match. He made some
Exactly.
point blank saves. That for
Mhm.
me was actually goal. You can call the one of Diaz, the save he made from Diaz, the save he made from. I mean, there were many instances where you thought it was a goal, and then also the reason why Liverpool did not really actually dominate this game or score is also because Crystal Palace was able to take away pressure when it seems as Liverpool was actually shoving it down their throats. With Eze and Olise.
Olise, yeah.
Yes, they were even Mandetta, who actually
Mateta,
Mateta.
hold up,
Mateta.
good hold up play, yeah.
Yeah, even Mateta, who actually missed some chances that I was like, oh my goodness, he should score. Maybe that will come back to haunt them. Did a good job, so that it made Liverpool be wary of their defensive side of this. And when they lost the ball, they were actually very exposed. And defense does win championship. But if you have a defense like Liverpool's, and that's the reason why I said Liverpool actually cannot win this league. If you guys remember, I've always said that they are my third best. Would still I maintain Manchester City on top. Then of course we'll talk about Arsenal later. So that's actually what I think about the game Liverpool versus Crystal Palace. So yes, credit must be given to Crystal Palace as well.
Thank you so much, True Lion. Thank you. There are some comments there I just want to highlight. That's correct. Lema had an amazing game, superb game. That's you, Zago. Mitchell was outstanding. That's also you, Zago, and they defended well. I'm calling out these comments now because I know we're gonna get to a point where the comments are gonna go out of hand. So I'm sure we're not gonna be able to keep a track of everything. But there's a comment here that I really want us to maybe dissect a little bit. Everything cannot always go in your favor. Liverpool has been good, but lucky in too many games, and I think I pointed that out at some point. Today is one of those days. Like today, it was the other way around. Nothing worked for them, and that is football. And I think I pointed this out initially when I talked about the fact that Liverpool has faced so many goals. They've taken so many unexpected goals. They've come from behind like 32 times, right? Or was it 24 times this season? In the Premier League, 24 times they've gone behind and had to come back and claw back in and win the game. And somehow people kept saying they could win the league. And I kept pointing to this fact that at some point you run out of your luck. You run your luck out, literally, where you can't really keep get chancing your way into winning, right? If you go down two goals and then you see the game against Luton, for example, you're down two goals and somehow Liverpool comes back and wins 3-2, something like that. Those are the type of things that it's tough. You can say, yeah, it's mental capacity, it's it's maturity, the mental how do you say it? The team is able to keep it together onto the last minutes of the game and whatnot. But at some point, you run out of luck, right? And so, do you guys still see this as one of those opportunities missed for Liverpool versus a situation where it was just bound to happen, given the way today has gone?
The way Liverpool has been playing this season, this result at some point, yeah, it was bound to happen because they've not really been convincing. Those, yeah, Liverpool has been fighting. They've massively improved from their performance last season, but those matches where you go down to the wire almost every game to win, you cannot win the championship like that. We know Leicester did it in 2015-16, but that happens. Maybe Blackburn did it in 95 and 96. Those things happen once every 20 years, and it's not going to be from a team that is favorite. It's going to come from a team that no one that no that maybe finished 10 to 12 like Leicester did or something, not from Liverpool. So they've been winning 1-0, 2-1, 3-2. And yeah, it's not been convincing. It's just that I wanted them to win, not actually that I think that they've not really been convincing.
Okay, thank you. True Lion, Dean Henderson. You talked about him and the saves. He had 5 saves on recorded, and I think I counted 4 chances where Liverpool could have literally just pushed the ball into the net and won the game. But somehow Dean Henderson showed up with a hand, a foot, or chest or something to stop the ball from going in. Um, 5 saves, 8.0 rating. Does the fact that he was opposite the returning Becker, does that like push you to think about anything about the goalkeepers in today's game? I just want you to talk about how the goalkeepers performed today because Allison did make some amazing saves too to stop Crystal Palace. No.
Yes, I think it was just more for more. It was more. Yes, I cannot take away from what the keepers actually did because some of the saves were good, but the finishing was also poor in many occasions. So I would also say the finishing was poor. But to answer also to the first question that you asked, as far as I think Liverpool has been lucky enough. I don't think they are good enough squad to win the league. So this was actually just bound to happen that Liverpool is gonna drop points. But for me, I did not think it was gonna be a Crystal
Crystal Palace.
Palace,
Exactly.
and given the chances, because when you go again and re-watch this game, you will see that Liverpool, no matter how good they are. I cannot also only blame Nunez because I think Ayab said earlier that Nunez is not a championship winning striker. I won't go to say that at that point because I've seen games where he has won with the last shot or with the last header, scoring 11 goals, 9 assists. I just think Liverpool is not a balance. It's not balanced out, right? Their defense is lacking. Their midfield is actually lacking. So they're a team that spend a lot of energy in order to win games. And when that energy is not there, like they played on Thursday, today they actually also lost. When that energy is not there, then you see that's why Crystal Palace was able to go at Anfield and actually beat them.
Completely, yeah. And yeah, so for all the work that Allison did to keep Liverpool in the game, it just didn't happen for the other end of the pitch. So let's move on now. Let's move on. Let's talk about Man City. Man City has had this opportunity to now be in the driver's seat of the title race, and we know how Man City gets when it gets to this point of the year of the season where they're in the lead, they just take it away. Does anybody, any one of you, do you guys see anybody stopping Man City at this point?
Um, I don't know. It's the first time they're going back to the top of the table since November, and it's not the first or second time. So I think it's a habit. It's not a coincidence that Manchester City normally picks up the form towards the end of the league. It happened when they overtook Liverpool. It happened when they overtook Arsenal last season, and it's time to happen this year. Even though they just took over now, let's see what's going to happen in the next game. But it's very tough when Man City takes over the league. For them to drop points tends to be very difficult. I know they're fighting on two fronts. They have a big game against Real Madrid, and after Real Madrid, they're going to the semis. But they have so much depth in the squad.
Chelsea.
They
Yeah.
demolished Luton 5-1 with resting about seven of the players that started against Real Madrid. They were still able to beat. I think they are the only team in the Premier League that can do that. That could rest that amount of players and still put on that type of a display. So it everything is in their favor. And like I mentioned one day, and you guys were laughing. I said, with the way City is doing things, the Premier League might end up being like the presidential elections in Cameroon. They're gonna win it again. They're gonna win it again.
Yeah.
In as much as I'm a fan of the way Pep sets up his game and plays football, I want a little bit of competition. At least there's competition this year where probably we're gonna wait until maybe 1 or 2 days to the end of the season. But I wanted someone else to win the league. Not that
All right.
I don't like Pep, but I wanted some competition.
I mean, let me pull in True Lion on this one too, because at the beginning of the season, everybody was saying Man City would repeat, right? They would
Mhm.
win again. You have been very consistent, True Lion, with your even as the season was going poorly for them, and Liverpool was picking up steam. Arsenal was in there. You were still saying, look, City is still going to be at the top at some point, and they will figure this out. They're the big boys in the room now with about 5 games left, or is it 6 games? One, two, three, four, five, 6 games left in the Premier League. Um, does this still hold true for you? And what are your thoughts about them being in the driver's seat right now? Who can really stop them?
Yeah, I mean, if we look at recent data, we'll see that it's difficult when Manchester City is in the driver's seat in order to win. But this season, in order to overtake them. But this season, we have seen how the EPL has been, right? It's up and down. In the past 2 weeks, three different teams have been on top of the table. Liverpool was on top. Arsenal just dropped from the top. Now it's Manchester City. With six games to go, Manchester City has one of the weakest schedules. However, they have Tottenham that they still have to play, right? And Tottenham is a team that can take points. Everybody has to play Tottenham. So Tottenham is a team that can take points, off. So I wouldn't say that it's impossible for any team to overtake Manchester City. However, it's going to be tough. because Manchester City is the only team that will play a certain type of football, will be as calm even when they are two goals down with 20 minutes to go. They will be as calm as the other side of the pillow, and they will keep asking questions until they get that result. At this level, it will be difficult. So I think I will stick to what I've been saying, that Manchester City for me is the favorite, Arsenal second, Liverpool third.
Okay. All right, that's good. I see that they still have to travel to North London to London. City generally doesn't come back from London with a lot of good news, but lately they have figured out a way to get good news out of London. They still have to come to London to play Fulham, and then they've scheduled Tottenham's game in between their game with West Ham and Fulham. So they have to come to London twice in 4 days. So I think this will determine whether they win or not. But yes, looking at the running, they do have the lighter schedule right now. Liverpool did, for all intents and purposes. But now it looks like Anfield not being that bastion of success for them anymore lately. Looks like Spurs can come there and take away some points. But let's talk about, let's pivot now. Title winners, title holders currently leading the charge with 6 games left to go. That's stuff for the storylines, guys. And it could be a fourth for Man City. Who knows? But let's talk about the elephant in the room here: Arsenal and the game we just watched versus Aston Villa. I think Arteta got a lot of his tactics correct on the day to start the game off. The players rested, the rotation on the squad, but Unai Emery, for the first time in my life, I'm going to say Unai Emery did what he had to do to spoil the party in North London. Unai Emery got his tactics on point. The first half, he allowed Arsenal to play what they could play, and when he saw that there was something to take out of the game, he made the changes that were needed to be made, sorry, and he got his team across the line. Let me hear it from you first. I'll start with you, True Lion, because I know we had this conversation yesterday. uh, let's
Well,
Arsenal. Let's talk.
I think when you play Rice as a central defensive midfield, just the same way Arsenal actually started the season, Arsenal struggles offensively
Yes.
because he's not that creative type of guy. And I've been saying this, but a lot of people have been looking on to the analysts or to popular opinion to say Rice is the best player at Arsenal, the best signing, whatever. Of course, when he plays with in that box to box position, I think that's the best position for him. When he has Jorginho controlling the things from deep, yes, some would say Jorginho came in, but I think it was little
Too late.
late
Yeah.
because Aston Villa had already gathered confidence and now they were dominating the game because the first half, as you wisely said, I think what Unai did is that he allowed Arsenal to play their game. They were solid at the back, tried to counterattack Arsenal to start with because they knew that in the second half there will be a drop of energy. Both teams are just coming from, but I thought maybe the drop of energy would have been on Aston Villa, since Aston Villa also played,
On
you know,
Thursday. Yeah.
Europa against Lille. They beat Lille 2-1.
Conference, yeah, conference league, yeah.
Conference, yeah, yeah, they beat Lille 2-1. However, the drop of energy was evident. It was on the Arsenal side. So I think tactically, Unai actually beat Arteta tactically, and I've been telling you this, that that guy is a good coach. He's an experienced coach. But Nico, you didn't want to listen, and today he came to Arsenal and inflicted what could be defeat that sees Arsenal
Out
not
of the
win the
title race.
EPL title this year.
Okay. So Ajab, do you concur that this is it for Arsenal in the title chase?
No, 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 no. It's not like I mentioned. I said it's gonna be tough, and Tulan reiterated it's gonna be tough to take away to take off a city from that top spot, but it's not impossible. Teams are dropping points. I don't think City is going to win every game left. I don't think that it may happen, but I don't see it. So they're going to drop points. So, but it's never late. But I just feel that the momentum Arsenal had, games like this, and that's let me not even think. I don't want to go there. Just imagine them being eliminated by Bayern Munich. It might just kill the tempo. It might just kill their mind, their mental strength completely, and then they'll just go to face every team now. Like, oh, okay, we've qualified for top four. Let's not kill ourselves anymore. So I think it just happens with the with the uh, with the way things are going. And another thing I've been stressing a little bit about is that even though I thought Arsenal has some depth, but Arteta doesn't rotate a lot.
Yeah.
The reason I don't even think he kept Jorginho on the bench today because he was rotating. He's had games where he started with Havertz in the midfield. I just thought that he was coming to this game as an attacking setup to play a full attacking football with having two pivots and then having Rice as a midfielder. I don't think he was resting Jorginho for the Bayern game. But like True Lion said, and most people and most of us have seen, each time Jorginho dictates the tempo, they play with two holding midfielders. Jorginho
Yeah.
holds. They play with two defensive midfielders. Let me not say holding. Jorginho holds, and then Rice plays a little bit in front, just like they were doing when Tuchel was at Chelsea. You had Jorginho and then Kante in front of him. So yeah, so when they play like that, it gives Rice more room than when he's like the holding midfielder, and he affected the game. Telemans, who is my man of the match, had one of his best games. I've seen him played in the EPL since even when he was at the Leicester City. I didn't see him play like this, except one game when Leicester defeated Chelsea at the FA Cup finals. So Trulan, I think he probably said almost everything. But I will give more praises to Unai Emery than blaming Ateta for maybe not having things well. I just thought that Unai Emery came to this game. He wanted to prove a point to Arsenal that you guys fired me prematurely. I want to let you guys know that when it matters most, this kind of games, I could do something.
And there's more to this, right? There were implications for fourth place. Implications. I mean, we saw Man United in they lost the game, right?
Yeah.
And so the tied, sorry, right? And
They tied with
so
Bournemouth, yeah.
right, yeah, they tied with Bournemouth unexpectedly. So Unai Emery had a vested interest in making sure that he doesn't leave North London without the goods, to make sure that he increases the distance between him and Man United in that fight for fourth place. No,
No, I know. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but Man United was out of the fourth place already. He's fighting
oh,
for
they
fourth
were
place
for the
with Tottenham.
tie.
I'm forget about the mathematics and all that. United is still going to drop more points. They're not forget about United. United may finish
Oh, with
eighth.
Tottenham. Sorry, I should say
Yes,
Tottenham
it's
because
Tottenham.
Tottenham
Yeah,
lost too.
it's
Yeah,
Tottenham that lost 4-0 to Newcastle, and then even though they have a game in hand, but I think
in
Unai
hand.
Emery is fighting with Tottenham. United is out of the race for fourth place.
United is out. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
out. Yeah.
So let's talk about that Tottenham game since I mentioned them. Tottenham, Newcastle. We saw Isaac score some amazing goals against Tottenham, and when I was watching the game today, I just couldn't help myself just thinking if we had Isaac, some of those chances that Jesus missed,
I,
like those are clean goals, no?
I know you only want to talk about Isaac because you want to associate him with Arsenal.
With
Come on
Arsenal.
now.
Oh,
I mean, come
I
on, come
need a
on.
walk after this. I'm not gonna rewatch this game this week. I,
You
I
want
always
to associate.
rewatch all Arsenal games.
There's
This
no.
one I'm gonna
I
watch.
mean, what chance it is Jesus made? Trossard was the
No,
one
he
to
had a
pass.
clear header. No, no, no. Jesus had a clear header.
No,
He
that
had a.
clear header was not clear. There was a defender in
It
his
was
face.
clear.
No, it was not
Havertz
clear.
makes a run into the box. Konsa follows Havertz.
There was a
Jesus is
defender.
by
There was a
himself.
defender in his face. There is no way if he tried to go across the defender would have blocked that. The chance
And
that was clear in the first half that was missed. He
Was
had the
offside.
whole left
the
side
left side
of the goal to
of the
score,
yeah,
but
it was
Trossard decided
Trossard.
to go straight.
He put it
Had he
right back where
gone,
the cross
yeah,
coming from.
had he gone with his inside of his foot a little curve, that's a clean goal. But he decided to go straight. The problem with Arsenal is that although Saka has been one of their best players this year, when it turns out for games like this, Saka struggles.
He struggles.
Saka actually struggles. He's not as creative. Even Odegaard that had a great first half that tried to make
Yeah,
everything
yeah.
work.
Probably
In the second
Odegaard
half,
had
there
probably
was
the
nothing.
best first half of his career ever. He
There
had
was
so many touches on the ball, and they were all clinical. His
Yeah.
passing, everything, right?
yeah, but now we are able to say that this is just because Aston Villa came and played. So Aston Villa actually came and defeated because what Emery did in the first half is that he sat back. Second half, they pushed higher, and then he actually dealt. Arsenal had no shots on target. Or did they have any shots on
This,
target in the
the
second half?
sec, the second half, True Lion, thank you for that. The second half, if you watch that game, you think Aston Villa is the team fighting for the title.
That we
If you the
try
second
to
half,
exactly,
Aston Villa
exactly.
looked like the team fighting for the title. The second half.
Yeah, and it's because of the tactical change that Emery actually came out with. And I thought maybe Arteta, because it was even better. Sometimes, sometimes I think these managers overthink, right?
Mhm.
They overthink it because if I was Arteta, a game like this, I would have started Emmett Rose Smith with the other guy that what's his name,
Vieira, Vieira,
Nelson, Rich
No,
Nelson.
Nelson,
I would
Reese
have
start both.
Nelson.
Start both of
Yeah,
them. I will start one of them, not both of
Yeah.
them.
No, but the problem is
no,
that
start both
now, because we see now there
because
was
you
a
have
fall
five
in
subs.
energy,
You
right?
can switch it up.
No,
Yeah,
there was a fall in energy. And the way I saw Emil
yeah.
Rose Smith play in that game that they won, or what game did they win? Like win 3-0.
Luton. It was
Yeah.
Luton.
The way
Luton.
I saw him play with the energy that he played, finding spaces in the final third, I mean,
Yeah.
maybe with experience, because Arteta is still young and that, maybe with time and experience,
Yes.
he will be able to detect such things. Because I think guys like Saka
Hmm.
are actually just melting down towards the end of the season. Because Saka, for me, Saka was useless.
I've said
Saka
that.
was useless in the field.
I've said Red Saka before. You
Even
were. I said,
Martinelli. Even when
see, my
Martinelli
point.
came on, there was nothing
Yeah,
from
my point is
Martinelli.
that he's not been using Smith Rowe and what's the other guy's name? Reece
Reese,
Nelson
Reese
enough.
Nelson.
He's not been using them enough to even know if they can show up at this on this type of games. That's the problem with Teta. He doesn't rotate enough because there
No,
are
but
lots of games that you'd have been giving those guys chances so
those
that
guys
you
a
know
chance.
games like this they can at least give you some good 45 minutes. But he's not even so when he gets to games like this, he still thinks those guys are not ready. So
Yeah, and that's
I would
what
rather stick
baffles me.
I would
That's
rather
what
stick to
baffles me.
my Sakas and my yeah. He's not been giving those guys enough chance to play where so he can even think okay these guys are up to the task. So that's
I
where the
don't
issue is.
know if I necessarily want to make this about Arteta more than anything else, but even the players on the field should know what's at stake at some point, right? Um, Someone like Saka, whom we watched today, Saka, there was a chance we're going after we're on the ascendancy on the attack, and Saka is rolling around on the floor in the back end of the field, rolling around on the floor for a little push that he got, and the ref doesn't sound his whistle, and the players they continue playing, and Saka is still rolling around with us being down a goal. Like it baffles me. Like how do these players think sometimes? Just get up and get on with it, right? Like even if you're hurt, yes, if you're too hurt to continue, tell the coach so they can make a sub. But if you're going to be rolling around and the team is chasing a game, how does that? I mean, how does that help the team? And I just want to point out here, Zago has a comment here about True Lions analysis, and I actually agree. When I saw the lineup today with Rice in the CDM position, I was wondering to myself, like, why didn't he just start Partey and make Rice play that top right position, that top eight position, so he can drive forward because we do need to take the game to Villa. But somehow he chose that, and he chose to go with Rice and Havertz and have Trossard coming on the wing there. I mean, we can say in the first half it didn't work out badly because we did get the chances, we created the chances, but in the second half, clearly something was missing, right? Do you? I mean, we for all the talk we talk about the tactical astuteness of Emery. Do you think Arteta just missed the plot here completely, or what really happened here? Because this is the second win. Villa has done a double over Arsenal this season,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
we know that this doesn't usually happen. But what do you guys attribute all that down to?
No, I think basically Emery has the number of Ateta. Tactically, he has the number of Ateta. He's a very smart and experienced coach.
Hmm.
Even when he plays Pep Guardiola, it's not easy. So these Spanish guys, they actually know how to cancel out each other. The way Aston Villa played in the second half. I've not seen Aston Villa be that successful. It was always as if you were just always hoping that
Did,
Arsenal is gonna come
did
back.
you,
Arsenal is gonna
yeah.
show something. But
Did you?
the way they were outplayed and Arsenal had no chance. I cannot say that this game was actually. I cannot blame the better team won today.
Yes, exactly. The better
The
team
better
won.
team won.
See,
It's not a matter
yeah.
of players. The better team just won because the way these Aston Villa guys were confident at the way they cancelled. There was a pass that this guy gave Bailey when he came in. Remember, we're
Mm.
all thinking that Bailey is going to start, but Bailey did not start. But when
Yes.
Bailey came in, there was a pass he gave on the touchline. That
Yeah,
flick,
that
that
touch. It was a very,
Wait,
very
was it the
organic
1-2 he
touch.
played with? Was it the 1-2 he
Yeah,
played with Konsa?
yeah, yes,
Ukonsa, Ukonsa.
exactly.
It was like a
It
missed
Yeah,
pass, but it was an intentional pass.
was
Yeah,
an intentional pass.
yeah, but it was
And the
like a missed
ball,
pass. I remember the
yeah,
ball, man.
and the ball did not go
Yeah,
out of
yeah.
play. Then I looked at Arsenal. I looked at Arsenal because a lot of people don't understand. A lot of people look at the game and they start blaming players here
Mhm.
and there. Zinchenko. If it was not for Zinchenko, that first half, Arsenal could have been because the chances he created for players. Just look at the chances created for players. The chances he was creating from the midfield. However, yes, I do understand that Zinchenko is not like a 90 minutes kind of player because his energy level and he cannot defend. There was a chance that Trossard could have scored. That Zinchenko did not apply all the defensive impact. But now, when you look at the game like this, because it's hard also to blame a guy like Trossard, but he was wasteful. Trossard was also wasteful. He has not yet understood the dynamics of how Arsenal plays, and that's why Manchester City is a much more better team. Because regardless of when if they are losing, Manchester City always sticks to their approach. No one goes out of the way they play. They stick. But when you look at a guy like Trossard and maybe Martinelli, who actually came in, when the ball is played down to them on the wing, all they have is just one. They want to run down the
Yeah,
defense. No
yeah.
matter how good the defense is, they just want to run down the defense.
yeah.
And but it's hard for me to blame such players because I know where Arsenal has come from, and I've seen Arsenal play very, very good games this season. But when
Mhm.
you compete against a team like Manchester City and Pep Guardiola, man, you all know what
Yeah.
always have happened. You
So
all
Sorry.
where do you guys see?
One,
Yes, Ajab,
yeah,
go on.
one thing I just wanted to add to Two Lions about Aston Villa's performance. If you watched Aston Villa in the second half, the way they build up play from the keeper, zero panic.
Yeah,
No matter how many Arsenal players were pressing
they
them, they
took
were
their touches.
comfortable
Yeah,
giving the ball to Martinez.
yeah.
Martinez was comfortable giving the pass to Rogers or
Or
Tillemans, who was
Costa
like,
or
throw,
Tillemans.
yeah, and Tillemans would give it, or he was very comfortable giving it to Paul Torres at the
That,
left side, who will give it to. They were so comfortable building up from behind.
Ajab, see that. Let me add something to what you said. Right? Have you realized that it's very difficult for Arsenal to score against Martinez?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
is it because he's been there? He was there forever.
Even it's the same thing.
Ever
Even
since Martinez,
Oli
ever
Watkins always
since
scores when he comes
Eh?
ever since Martinez has left
left.
Arsenal,
Yeah,
Yes,
left
it's been a
Arsenal,
problem. Yes.
he
yeah,
plays with so much heart. He
yeah,
wants to beat Arsenal
Yeah,
every time he plays
he was
Arsenal.
at Arsenal for like 10 seasons, and they never gave him the chance. So I think he
Exactly,
has that at the back of his mind.
yeah,
exactly.
yeah. And and it's the same thing. Like the old London boys, you could say they came and they literally came back and took care of us. Because Oli Watkins scored. Oli Watkins was at Hill End, right?
Uh,
He's an academy graduate from Arsenal.
he was at Brentford too. He
Yeah,
left
and he went
Brentford,
to
right?
Brentford. Exactly.
That's you
So
remember the other day I was talking to you guys. I said if I have to choose 5 players this season, nominees for player of the
Oli
season,
Watkins.
I'm gonna include Oli
Yeah,
Watkins.
Yes, yes,
yeah.
Yeah,
He's the second highest goal scorer right
yeah.
now. He's on 19 goals.
yes.
20 goals. Haaland has 20 goals. He's on 19. Just so these are players that take their chance and look at the number of chances he got today. He didn't get many, and he made one count.
I
That's why I
think
say Arsenal really, for all the talk we talk about tactical work and all what Martinelli and Saka bring to the game and what Trossard brings to the game and even Jesus, Arsenal still needs an out and out striker. You need that
No, no,
point.
no.
Oh yeah, nobody refuses, right?
Don't you? Yeah.
Nobody's refusing. But let me tell you something. Let me tell you a funny thing. What people talk about Haaland, right?
Mhm.
Manchester City used to have the Agueros, ball playing center forwards, right?
Yeah,
Hmm.
They could not win the Champions League. When they went for a striker that was like in box that lives in the box and all that, that's when they won the Champions League.
Yeah, and that's
So
what I was just
yeah,
supposed to say. Yeah, because they've
so
been
I think
having.
mhm,
Yeah, sorry, Trulan, go ahead. I wanted to say that they won the league, even without Aguero. When Aguero left, they played the next season that they won the league without the striker. But
yeah,
they still saw even Pep, who is a ball playing manager, still said, okay, if I need to bring the striker this time around, I need to bring someone who is not the ball playing guy, who is
yeah,
just His job is just to
because
put that thing inside. And now every focus is on Haaland. He allows the other guys to thrive effectively, but people are like bashing at Haaland. But Pep will never bench Haaland if Haaland is healthy in any top game. He will never.
yeah, because if you guys see like games today where Arsenal had maybe only the chances in the first half, very few chances actually came by. That's when you need a striker that's clinical.
Mhm.
There
Clinical.
is no way that Trossard does not score that goal. If you want to win titles, that's
Yeah.
how. That's what you do. You poke that ball in and you don't give it back to the goalkeeper.
And it's
Like the
scary
goal we
because
saw,
Trossard has been very clinical.
that the Ghanaian guy scored yesterday when we
Yes.
went to the
German.
game, FC Charlotte against Toronto FC, the MLS. That's when you need someone just to poke the ball in, no matter what. Because I think if Arsenal could have scored a goal in the first half, Aston Villa could have panicked a little bit. But
Yeah.
when they went in the second half and then they saw that things were in control,
Mhm.
Emre just actually, let's go ahead and do this because I've been talking about our central defensive midfielder, midfield. Rice. Of course, Rice is good and all that. But when Rice plays as a central defensive midfield, Arsenal cannot bring the ball from behind because nobody respects his ball handling skills. Nobody respects his ball handling skills. And we saw that in the first half of the season, how Arsenal struggled when they played with this same formation. And for Arteta to revert to this formation against Aston Villa, I don't know what he was thinking.
Maybe he disrespected Aston Villa.
Oh no, he cannot because he knows what Emre is going to
Yeah.
do to him.
I
Yeah.
think I think I think we for all the talking points of the game today, we're gonna focus on a lot of these points. But I want to point out that Paul Torres and Diogo Carlos today were an immense partnership in that defense,
Yeah, like I said, the ball
especially in the
started
second half.
building up play. They were excellent. Like the
Yeah.
because Arsenal was actually pressing. It's not like Arsenal sat back, but those guys were able to remove the ball out of their box without any panic.
Exactly, and I mean it's scary that Aston Villa didn't have the goods to do the same thing to Man City just couple of weeks ago
Mhm.
when we were all counting on them and they lost to Man City, but
4-1.
yeah, 4-1, right? And that's where you kind of start seeing that champions will be champions no matter how things go. And so, guys, what do you guys think? Is this it for Arsenal? Is there
No, you asked it already. We said no, it's not it for Arsenal. I know you're so great.
Where do you think Arsenal gets the goods? Where do
No,
you think Arsenal gets good news from? Because looking at the
let me
fixtures,
use let
I'm
me
the
not
use
going to
only
comfort
team
you.
let me use pigeon. We put I forgot a hand. Yeah, the way it is now, we put I forgot a hand.
but
Yeah.
that's just what we were supposed to avoid. That's just what Arsenal was supposed to avoid, right?
Hmm.
They had it was literally in front of them, just like last season, and somehow it was in Arsenal's hands, and somehow it's back in City's hands.
No, no. You keep going back to last season.
No, last
Arsenal
season
was
was
not as
stupid.
good.
Arsenal
Arsenal
was
was
a,
not
yeah,
as good a team last season.
yeah, last season.
This season, if Arsenal does not win, I will agree that they actually maybe let it go. But when you also look at the type of team Manchester City is, it's hard to criticize a team like Arsenal. They are the third youngest team in the EPL. Arteta is also a young manager. What lacked for Arteta today is because he was not courageous enough to play the young ones. And as Ajab would say, he doesn't rotate that much. So that falls back to okay, if you don't start, what's
Smith
his name,
Rowe,
Saka.
Smith,
If you don't
okay,
start
Saka.
Saka, you cannot put Saka on the bench and start guys like Reece Nelson and Smith
Yeah,
Rowe
Yeah, because you
against
haven't used it. Yeah,
an
you haven't
Aston Villa because
exactly.
you should be able to do that if you see
Yeah,
that your guys don't have the legs because Saka was useless today.
yeah,
I can say that Saka was useless. Trossard was not able to poke in the ball in when it mattered. Yes, Jesus was working hard defensively, but he created some opportunities for those guys. Go look at the opportunities he created. First half, Arsenal, there's no need. Arsenal should not be
yeah.
scoring.
Arsenal had like
But
20.
now, again, in order to win, you should be able to take risk. Let's see what Manchester City did. They made 7 changes, put a bunch of young guys, and still flop Luton.
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 You
And
know,
Luton has been giving everyone a hard time
Everybody a
at some
tough
point.
time.
yes,
Yeah,
Yeah,
Luton
you
is
beat
really
Luton,
good.
and Something, man. Luton has more goals this season than Man United. Can
Man
you
United.
imagine?
That's scary. That's
But
scary.
let's not go there. Let's not
Let's
go
not
there.
go there. All right. So let me take this conversation now to the bogey team. Everybody thinks that because the three title chasers have to play Spurs, Spurs has a hand in deciding this title race. I know that Man City has to travel to London to play against Spurs, but Liverpool will be at home to Spurs, and Arsenal will be traveling to North London to also play against Spurs. If you look at Spurs' last games, they beat Aston Villa 4-0, then lost the very next week to Fulham 3-0, then won against Luton 2-1, and then tied with West Ham, and then won against Forest. Now, yesterday they lost 4-0 to Newcastle United. And do you guys really see Tottenham Hotspurs being the bogey team in this title race because they still have to play all three? They haven't been very consistent with their results, but I want to really pick on your brains on this one. See if you guys see it the way a lot of the pundits are calling it. Ajab, do you want to go first?
Yes, most people or pundits, like you said, or some analysts saying that Tottenham is gonna be the title decider. It's nothing. There's not. They're not saying anything outside the ordinary. Tottenham is a team that is also fighting for the fourth spot, right? And they're a good team. So by default, them playing all three teams means at some point they'll make any title. So it's not anything. Anyone who watches football can know that they're gonna be title decider. Nobody needs to tell us that. So they're making it look like it's something too big or it's something which they've seen which someone else is not seeing. It's so clear. Tottenham is fighting for spot with Aston Villa, and they still have to play Liverpool, Man City, and Arsenal. They're not going to let those teams beat them, and then they don't make the foot spot. So they're gonna fight till the end because them two are fighting for the foot spot. So it's nothing new. So that's what I just wanted to say. That yeah, they're gonna be the boogies, like you say, Nico. They're gonna be the boogies. They're gonna at some point decide between Liverpool, Arsenal, and Man City. But that's because they also have it. They also have something at stake.
In the
They
game.
also have something. Yeah, they also had something at stake. They also have the fourth place to fight for. If they were eight, nine, tenth place, then it would be a different story. But they're fifth place fighting to be fourth spot. So it's normal that they're gonna be one or the main actor in deciding who wins the league.
And this is why I kind of looked at the fixture when City had the City's game against Tottenham was supposed to be a rearranged game. So when I saw that City plays their game against Tottenham to the day, like few days before they play their last game of the season, I was like, wow, these guys can think ahead. Because to me, they were probably thinking, okay, what if Spurs loses to say Liverpool and Arsenal, then they don't have much more to bring to the table to fight for fourth place. But I'm not sure that that's the right thinking there. I don't know if I'm making any sense. But True Lion, let me get your thoughts on this same thing. Same question I asked Ajab. Spurs. What do you make of Spurs? How do we see it happening? How does it unfold for us?
Yeah, first of all, a how do they call the games? A game in hand, games in hand, or delayed games cannot be played at the very end of the season.
Hmm.
So that's just by law. So that Tottenham Spurs game must was rightfully rescheduled before the end of the season because it cannot be played as the last game
Hmm.
because it's a game that they actually missed. That's by the FA. That's how the FA actually
Yeah.
goes. But I don't think Tottenham is even at that place anymore because I think Tottenham used a lot of energy at the beginning of the season. We have seen this before with teams that use a lot of energy. They want to run, they want to attack all the time. By the time they get into towards the end of the season, their legs are all gone, right?
Hmm.
But one thing that I know about Tottenham is that they always like to play a good game against Arsenal. So they will look to actually beat Arsenal by all costs because it's gonna be at home. And against Manchester City, a team like Manchester City or maybe Liverpool, maybe they take points off Liverpool. But I don't see them taking points off Manchester City because where Manchester City, even before actually Manchester City plays their next EPL game, I think Arsenal and Liverpool would have played two games. So they'll definitely be coming from behind. But coming from behind, it means Manchester City will leave no stone unturned. They will just be grabbing those points, and it's going to be difficult to actually knock Manchester City off. So I don't think, yes, Tottenham is definitely a good team. You know, you cannot write them out, but I think they have the ability to take off points, Arsenal and Liverpool, but not Manchester City.
Okay. All right. That's
Uh,
good. Yes. Go ahead.
I think they will tie against City. I'm looking them tying against City. Um, they may tie against City,
For
Tottenham.
me, yeah, for me, City is gonna beat them.
I'm looking at this fixture list and I'm just thinking to myself, if City gets past Real Madrid in the and gets into the semifinals, they'll probably play the semifinals around the end of April, right? Or
First week of May, I think.
first week of May. So that will be happening when City has City has Nottingham Forest, Wolves, and Fulham.
And they will rest players for all those
The
games.
rest players for those games.
Yeah,
So I don't
and
see where Spurs takes anything off of City. The
yeah,
only
if they're
difference
meeting, if they
is
okay, then
yes, go ahead.
if they were meeting City at the time where they too really need that fourth spot and
That's
City
possible.
needs that first
Exactly.
spot, it's gonna be a good game. But
Yeah.
like you're saying, if they're meeting towards the end, if they're meeting City when it's like one game to go, because I see
That's
if City
exactly
has to
what
win,
City did. That's why I was
if,
saying City
if City
really
has to
dropped
win
one
this league,
complaint when they rescheduled it.
if
When
City
they
has to win
rescheduled it.
this league,
Because the way City put that game, it's very tactical, right? They put it right around before the end, before the last game. They're playing that game on a Tuesday of the last week of the league.
Mhm.
So for
So
me, I mean, this is the way I
And
look
then
at it, right? I
mhm.
cannot bet against Pep Guardiola with six games to go.
that's
You
exactly
know, that's the
No,
way that's the way I look at it. Because
yes,
right
yes.
now he wants to make history as a
Mhm.
yeah.
coach that has won it 4 times.
Mhm.
City has gone through their tough times. They have played most of the best teams already. You see what I'm saying? So they have gone through their tough times and they did not win the top teams in the top. They have not beaten teams in the top five, right?
Mhm.
Okay, no,
Who?
they beat Aston Villa. They beat
Who?
Aston Villa. So they have not
Who's
beat
that?
Manchester City. They
Okay,
beat,
yeah, they beat Aston Villa. Yeah, they
they
only
beat
beat
Aston
Aston
Villa.
Villa.
So they beat
Yeah,
Aston Villa.
yeah. Mhm.
So for me, when I look at this game going forward, and with almost every players, because now they're having everybody back, right? Their goalkeeper is back. Walker will be back. Stones back.
Yeah.
Everybody's back. De Bruyne are back. I won't bet against Manchester City.
I am with you on that one, True Lion. I'm with you on
No,
that
I'm
one.
not. Yeah, I'm not
So,
betting against
because
City.
I looked at this table and I say, well, if City were to drop points anywhere, you could think, okay. There's also the FA Cup. So City beats Chelsea and goes into the FA Cup finals. The FA Cup has to be played in the is it the second week of the before the
City
league?
might lose to Chelsea
Yeah. So they're playing against Chelsea next on the 20th in a few days. They're playing
because
against
that's what City is gonna do.
this week.
They're gonna play their kids. Most of the in that Chelsea, they're gonna play their
But
kids.
kids are good at beating
That's
Chelsea.
Yeah,
Oh.
true.
yeah, because but that's
You,
our confidence,
rem-
right? Because
you remember you remember the Liverpool kids?
Liverpool kids.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kids are always good at beating Chelsea. You remember the Liverpool kids?
All right. That's fun. That's fun. So we go back to predictions for the league title. Anything changed with 6 games left to go?
man, I ain't gonna change. I'm on top right now. I can't change.
Ajab, you still think Arsenal has what it takes to come
No, no.
back?
I had Liverpool as
Liverpool
like I said, it was just based on sentiments, not based on facts or analysis. I just wanted Liverpool to win, but yeah, but you know what?
is
Man
not
City,
gonna
Man
yeah.
City. Yeah.
Yeah,
The only way is not allow them to get to the top of the table at this point because it's like Formula One. When you yeah, you're gone. Formula One.
I can just
Yeah.
imagine Pep Guardiola watching this game and just sipping his wine or tea and just
Mhm.
smiling at the TV. You know, after Liverpool lost, and then he saw that Aston Villa was like had Arsenal by the neck or the
Oh
scruff of the
no,
neck, and he
believe
was
me,
probably just like laughing and just smiling.
no,
You know,
believe me. Pep Guardiola never relaxes. That's why he's a winner. He never relaxes.
yeah,
He knows this is not over.
yeah,
So he's gonna be as focused as he's gonna keep his team as focused as nobody gets out of line. Nobody thinks that the title is there's still 6 games to go. Anything can happen within
it's
six
a
games.
Premier League. That's right. Plus, we know that City and Fulham, City always struggles against Fulham. Okay, let's talk about a question here from JC. I just want to read it out. A quick question for you, True Lion. When was the last time City beat us in the league? And it's very correct.
It
Mind
was
you,
last season.
we did a
Last
double on this thing
it
on
was
last season. It
not
was
last season. The
the
other
season
season
before.
before
Yeah,
when they won 2022-23
yeah,
season.
Yeah,
City beat them 4-2. I remember Mares scoring a hat trick or 2 goals. I
yeah,
remember they
yeah,
came from behind. Yeah.
yeah. So last year we saw City struggle away and at home versus
Mhm.
Spurs because of the way Spurs played. This year, do you think it's going to happen? I mean, Spurs tried to do that open game thing against Newcastle and they got taken apart, man. So I don't know. What are your thoughts, True Lion, on? I
As I
want
said, yeah, as I said, Spurs have spent lots of energy at the beginning of the season, always running up and down, running energy. Their
Yeah, hype.
midfield, the Besuma, that guy is a shadow of himself. Sa, shadow of themselves. So I mean, no matter what
to.
JC says, let's wait. I think we're gonna watch that game together, so that he sees what Manchester City is going is going to do to his Spurs. Well, again, it's the EPL. Anything can happen, but I am convinced that that game, Manchester City is going to beat Spurs. The way Manchester City is running, because even when you watch the way they played the last game, who did they just beat? Was it Luton?
Yeah, Luton.
Yeah, the game was actually in the second. It was still just 1-0. Was side and all
One
that.
zero. Yeah, 1-0 at halftime.
Then when they started scoring, they like really just we're going. Kovacic got everybody. Vardiol is being like towards the end of the season now. He's becoming one of their best players.
Hmm.
Then you still have Walker, their captain, that has to come back because when Walker
Nathan Ake is back too.
exactly. So I mean, they're getting. It's like they were resting. So a lot of their players are getting back. Then the Bruyne is also like getting back to match fitness because he's not even yet 100%.
Hmm.
Mhm.
So when I look at these things and I look at Tottenham or other teams, their players are some of them are getting tired, worn out. The season has been long. Then Arsenal is
Hmm.
playing UEFA Champions League together with the EPL and the third youngest team, so they don't have that experience. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because if you do have that experience, you will know that in games like this that you just played against Aston Villa, you have maybe one or two opportunities and you have to bury them. But when you don't bury them, then it comes back to bite you.
Okay. I was gonna ask Ajab to chime in on this, but I think we've lost him for a minute.
No, I'm here. I'm here. I'm here.
Okay, good. Ajab, yeah, go ahead. Same question to you. Quick thoughts. Tottenham, can they really? Uh, I mean, because the question was to True Lion though, because City
Like,
struggled to beat them last year. Do you think this year will be the same thing?
like, yeah, but it also these things too also boils down on the time. When they meet. If they meet when City is already maybe champions, or it's not gonna be of any. Yeah, it's not like they're not like some city rivals or some they have some arch rival that you think they might want to settle scores no matter how the league is. But if Tottenham is still in a position where they know we need to win to get to the fourth spot, and City needs to beat Arsenal and Tottenham to make to be champions, then I still have what I said before. I think I'm going to settle for a tie
That's
between
right.
both teams.
So
Yeah.
you're settling for a tie. In
Mhm.
December, when these two teams played, it ended in a tie 3-3 with
3-3. Yeah.
Lushevsky winning that last
Kulusevski, that last minute
minute.
equalizer. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're still going for 3-3 for a tie this year
A
this
tie.
season. Not 3-3
Mhm.
for a tie.
A tie. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now there's some responses. I think your questions have triggered responses. I think so. Let's quickly look at the comments, and then we can talk through what we need to in order to close out the stream. It's been an hour and 10 minutes.
Mhm.
Um, we are also going to have a full team against City. Team and players look fatigued. I really fancy our chances against City. Might be a 2-2 draw. Remember, it was a 3-2 in the first game. That's correct.
But they already have a full squad now. Which full
Yeah, the
squad are
squad
you
is back.
talking about? They had a
Yeah,
full squad against Newcastle.
Newcastle. We acted as a central defender. We played with four fullbacks against City. Okay. Yeah, I
Yes,
mean, sometimes when you take the game to City, they don't know how to react. That's the truth.
yes. So they're gonna use their fullbacks. They're gonna use the actual fullbacks like they did against Newcastle, and
Yeah,
City is gonna punish them.
City
And
is going to punish
yeah, now is not the best time to see to
to play
play
City.
City. Yeah, if you have someone like Phil Foden is having the best moment of his life. He's gonna be for me. He's gonna be the player of the season, EPL player of the season. Even if City doesn't win the league, that's my EPL player of the season.
Yeah,
That thing which he needed to take his game to another level, he's getting it now, scoring those goals in addition to his creativity,
he didn't
and
even
also
play.
he's good
He,
now. He's also good now without the ball, so he's almost becoming a complete player. So Now it's not a good time.
All right. I'm just getting some really bad news here. The Roma game just got suspended after Ivan Dika collapsed on the field. He was unconscious when he was stretchered off. Um,
Mm.
just getting that report in. Is it Italian league? Roma was playing against Milan. I think no, it was not Milan. Yeah, it was
No, Milan had played Roma already.
Milan. Yeah, Milan has played them all. Udinese. It was against Udinese. The game had to end in the 23rd minute.
Mm.
Yeah. I'm not sure. 70th minute. 70th minute, the game was suspended. So I'm gonna get some more details on that and we can share on our social media page. But Ivan Dinka is an African player, so absolutely we do have that alerts on and he comes
Mhm.
comes up. Um
Yeah, and he has
He's
a
conscious. He's conscious.
yeah, he's conscious now.
Yeah, he's conscious.
Okay,
and
because
yes,
the alert says he
He
was
has a
unconscious.
Cameroonian dad and an Ivorian mom.
Yeah. So yeah, and that's one thing I need to let the viewers know. The football trio, we have a vested interest in following African players. So we have some of these alerts on some of these leagues that African players participate in. And so some of these things will come up and we know. Okay, so it says he's conscious, sorry. And
Hmm.
while he was as he was stretches off, but he was unconscious when he collapsed. Okay, but he's conscious now. Okay. Great, 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 great. Hopefully we wish him well and his family, of course. Um speedy recovery. Let's close out the show. Any parting words, guys? Let's take a look. I think we've covered all the comments. I just knew that we are going to have a flurry of
No, there
comments.
was a comment here by was it someone mentioned? Sorry, okay, no, I think we covered we
Covered
covered
all the
everything.
comments.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So JC has considered on the point that Newcastle outplayed Spurs. So I guess maybe they'll take their revenge on City and try to spoil the party. All I have to say is Unai Emery knew exactly what to do today. He brought his team to London to spoil the party for Arsenal. Um, an opportunity missed here for Arteta, I think. Like True Lion said, when you start with Rice as a CDM, prepared to not have a lot of control of the game. Well, you can have a lot of control of the game, but they're also going to take the game to you in many other aspects, especially when you have Havertz in that outside eight role. I'm saying outside, but it's because of left side eight role. Emi Martinez got the best of the team today. He made couple of amazing saves. He's a happy man. I hate when he leaves London happy. I hate when Unai Emery leaves London happy. Um, I'm gonna go for a walk after this, and I'm not gonna rewatch this game at all. I've rewatched all of Arsenal's games this season, but it's a tough loss for me to take. So I was really hopeful as an Arsenal supporter. As a football trio host today, I want to thank you guys for joining, and I appreciate you guys. Please, please do like our content, like it, subscribe. You know how
and
those things go.
and share as much
Share.
as you can. Yeah.
Exactly. Share as much as you can so we can grow the network, to grow the family. And thank you guys for joining the stream. Any parting words, gentlemen? Ajab, you want to go first?
No, just keep thanking our fans, and we have some consistent fan base here, which I really appreciate. They've been doing Zago, we have JC, we have Cho Julius. They've always been here for us. Keep sharing, keep liking, keep participating, and we always want your feedback. Thank you, guys.
All right. What about you, True Lion?
Well, I mean, the league is only getting interesting. I'm sorry, and I believe that we shall see more of these games. You know, with 6 games to go, there are still many surprises, and I just wish you the best, Nico. But you've been won. Unai Emery actually got this win
He did. He
for guys
did.
like you.
It's a sad thing because I would have hoped that he would do the same thing against Man City, but he didn't. So it is what it is. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us on the stream today. Really, really appreciate it. This is until next week. Oh no, until this week when we talk about Champions League, right? So thank you guys for joining the stream. Bye for now, guys. Have a good rest of your day.